Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. I am going to be making some melt and pour soap. This is actually the first time I've made an entire soap fully of melt and pour. So the first part I did was I melted down some of a clear base and I added just a couple drops of like a liquid colorant that I got at Brambleberry. They're the little bomb colors. They are made for things like melt and pour soap. Then once this was in the mold, I let it sit probably for about 5 to 10 minutes and then I peeled it out and cleaned it up. I also have another mold that I'll show in a second with little mermaid tails, and that I just used a resin mold that I bought off of Etsy, and I had to actually use a little dropper tool to do the mermaid mold because the embeds were so tiny. So I kind of want to make this look like something under the sea, so I have the little tails here, and then for the first layer of soap I actually am going to do like a golden color for the sand, and this gold looks so amazing in clear melt and pour soap, so I'm really excited about it. I'm also using a little bit of this sample that I got from Nurture. I've had it for almost a year and have not found any use for it, so we're using it today. So you want to make sure that you're spritzing liberally with rubbing alcohol on your mold and in between each layer or every piece of melt and pour that you're putting together so they stick properly. On these, I also added a little bit of pink Himalayan salt into the melt and pour, and I waited till after I poured it because I thought the temperature would cool a little bit better, and that way the melt and pour wouldn't just all, or not the melt and pour, the salt wouldn't be sunk to the bottom of the soap. And here you can see I'm going to go ahead and place the little mermaid tail embeds here, just right on top of that melt and pour layer that I just poured, and it's maybe been set up for a minute or two. It's still a little bit soft to the touch. I just figured it would adhere a little bit better. I noticed that when I did spray these little pieces down with rubbing alcohol, they become really slick and hard to hold, so I dropped them quite a few times. The next part of the soap, I added some more liquid colorant that I found on Amazon, and you can use this in bath bombs, Play-Doh, melt and pour soap, and a lot of stuff. I used a little bit of blue. I did hear before that if you add a little blue, it will make your clear look clearer, but I didn't want it to actually be blue. I was hoping it would stay clear. I only added 1 drop to the melt and pour. As you can see, it just turned all of my soap blue, which is okay because it's an ocean soap. So it's a learning process for me. Like I said, this is the first time I'm making it. So I poured 1 layer, a really thin layer, just to go over the top of the mermaid tail embeds, and then I spritzed them down and I waited for that to harden up just a little bit more so I can place these little coral or algae looking pieces that I've made to give it like another dimension or layer in the soap. One other thing that I wanted to mention is that probably next time I make melt and pour soap, I think I'll use my thermometer so I can kind of keep an eye on the temperature a little bit. I did notice a slight bit of the color bleeding from one to the other, but maybe it is just because I used too much green colorant in the soap. And I waited a couple hours and then I was able to easily pop these out of the mold. And I was really excited with the way they turned out, but I think if I were to make this soap again, I would not add the blue dye to the watercolorant just because I love how much that gold shimmer shows through on the soap. And you'll see in a second. Alright guys, thank you for watching today, and if you want to see more melt and pour soaps, just go ahead and leave a comment and let me know that you liked it, and I will try to keep doing them. Like I said, this is my first time making melt and pour as an entire soap. Usually I just do little embeds. So I had a lot of fun with this.